welcome back to Jim Builds. I'm Jim, and today I want to do some carbon fibre stuff. I've already done this, I just forgot to film an intro, so I know how it's going to turn out. Please bear with it, but basically I want to have a go at making carbon fibre parts for the Cortina. A little bit because carbon fibre is cool, it's not something I've never used before, and a little bit of I want to do a bit of modifying, but I don't want to ruin original parts, because this part that we are going to make, which is for the centre console, they're quite hard to get hold of, and this one is in surprisingly good condition to say it's 50 years old. And what I want to do with it is put a charging point in, so I can just charge my phone. It's not out the way. There's there's no cables running over it through the interior of the car, and I can just drive. But I don't want to ruin this, so I've got a 3D printer, easy Composites to a kit that allows you to go from a 3D print to a carbon fibre part. So let's give it a go. So I've got my moulds printed, but as you can see, the part is too big for my printer, so I've had to split it in half. The intention is we are going to glue these together in a second. What I have done is put some locating pins in, so that will help these align perfectly, and then I will glue them with an epoxy bond. But first, I've sanded this one, I just need to sand this, so let's put it together. Left it overnight, and it's pretty stiff. This ain't going anywhere, which is great. But now you can see all the layer lines here. Now I could mould it as it is, but there is a good chance you're going to see this, and because this is essentially the inside of the console box I'm making, I want to make that look as smooth as possible, because this is the part you'll see. So the intention is now to start sanding this. So I'll start with some 120 grit and work my way up. I'll probably end up priming and painting this just to make sure that I've sorted it all, but it's all going to be worth it. So it's been a few hours of sanding, and generally it's looking pretty good. I found a low spot here, and a few on top, which is fine. But what I'm going to do now is fill it with some dolphin glaze, which is more of a easier, fine filler to use, but it's also self-leveling. So in theory, if I get it right, it shouldn't be a case of it being all wavy and fighting me. So let's mix them up. I actually used this stuff when I was doing the bodywork on my car. It's really good. Quite easy to mix up, although I probably won't make a good job of it, but won't make up too much at the minute. Rather just see how it goes. Don't need a massive amount looking at it. I mean, generally the sides just need a light skin. It's the top that will require the most, where it's had a bit more, where it's just sunk a little bit. All very easily done. So make sure all this is mixed in. Fairly well mixed.
So I've left it a few hours and now it is hard, which is great, but it needs sanding. What I tend to use for this, and it's quite useful if you're doing anything fine, is using a guide coat. Now this is a powdered type, you can get spray, but this goes a lot further and it's not much more than a normal can. In fact, I actually bought this to begin the bodywork of my car, and I did so many coats of primer and whatever else trying to get it straight that, you know, there's still loads of it left. So you get a bit on your pad like that, just rub it on top. You can see straight away where you've got high spots. Now how am I going to do this? I'll put this down and I'll show you some sanding. Right, so you can see the darker areas are low spots. I mean, I know there's a lot of high spots, so that's just going to show this up, but I will carry on and do the rest. Obviously I'm going to put some gloves on in a second and a proper face mask, because I like my lungs on the inside.
A few minutes later.
Well, it's a big dusty mess in here, and as you can see, it's looking a lot smoother. I've got a flat spot still here, so I need to go over this, and there's a few bits on this flange that I'd like to improve, but I would say generally this is filled, and as you can see, it's surprising how far it's gone in some areas, the way I hadn't even noticed it. But it feels very good. So I'm going to get tidied up now, and then I will do some more filling, and I'll come back to you when it's all done and sanded.
So it's been a few days of sanding and filling and waiting, and finally I'm done. There's no more dust, it's all been cleaned up and it's looking really good. So one thing I have found is the two halves. I've had to fill it on this side because we've got a low spot, and on the opposite side, but that's all gone now. So there shouldn't be a clear line between the two parts. I've even made another mould, and this is for the glove box, but for the moment we're just going to focus on the centre console. Now it's been filled, sanded, and happy with the way it is. I'm going to put some primer on it. I think the intention now is to prime it and get some paint on eventually, before I go to the carbon fibre. You don't need to do that, but because I've put the filler on, I know that's quite absorbent, so I need something that's going to resist basically the PVA layer that'll end up putting on first. And primer is also absorbent, so that's why I'm going to put something on, prime it, and then paint it basically. But depending on your print and the quality of it, you might not have to do that, and if you don't, then great. But yeah, let's get some priming done. Primer's dried, although I had a paint reaction, which was my fault entirely. So I've actually re-primed it, but also noticed that I could still see a few layer lines. So underneath this grey primer is a yellow filler primer, like a high build, and generally it looks really good. Not seeing any layer lines now, which is fantastic, but I want to give this a flat at 600. I'm going to go quite light on it just to see if there's anything untoward. If there's any deeper bits or perhaps any paint defects, then I'll go down to a 400 and then back to a 6. But looking at how it is now, I don't think that's going to be a problem. So I'm going to use some of the black marking stuff that I was talking about and show you properly and go from there.
Right, so the kit's arrived, and inside, if I can open it, you will find various chemically bits which we'll go into, and this, which is approximately 1 metre long, 300mm wide piece of carbon fibre. Let's take that out. Got a couple of brushes, and in this cup we've also got some gloves, which definitely going to need, although I do have my own as well. There's some sheets of wet and dry to tidy the part up once it's been made, should you need to. Yeah, because that's what I use this coating resin for, I believe. Right, let's move some of these bits out of the way. So we'll start with this one, which is mould release. I do know that. And then this piece here is to go on top of the fibre once it's been laminated and you finish, and that will absorb up any excess epoxy. Yeah, close that again. So looking at it, to go across from here to here, all the way along, you're looking at 380mm, and the thing is 370mm. So I'm going to have to probably cut a piece that is 380mm to go across from here to here, and 300mm will get me part way along, because obviously that's just length, so I need to come up and across. So I think I'll have to do it in 1, 2 pieces. But I'm going to try using some baking sheet at the minute, which I know it's not going to work in the same way, but it'll give me an idea of how big my sheets need to be and how I'm going to lay it up. So let's have a look at that. Yeah, so this is 300 wide. We'll do a lay over the top, so up this side, across and back down. That's 380, and then a capping piece on either end, which will get which will laminate over this, sort of come around the side slightly, and then another laminating piece, cap the sides, do that, he says. So first off, I'm going to cut the carbon fibre, and then we'll prep the mould. Just be careful how you handle this, because I've just caught this on the edge of my bench and it's pulled the thread. It's just something I'm learning about now. It's an interesting material, but you've got to be very careful with it, you know, to prevent the thread fraying lines. And tape doesn't work, because as soon as you pull the tape off, it pulls the carbon with it. So I'll have to figure out something better for next time.
So we're currently in June. I filmed this back in March and I've actually lost this footage. It was filmed on a different camera and I must have accidentally deleted it. But basically, when it came to laying the material over, so I wet it with the epoxy, laid the carbon fibre over the top, wasn't quite happy, and I started moving it and almost having a bit of a mental breakdown with it, because I was trying to work really fast but also not having a clue what I'm doing. Hands were going everywhere. I started moving the material as it's wet, which meant as soon as I picked up some fresh material, that was then sticking to my hand rather than the part, and it was a bit of a disaster. Anyway, let's go back to March and we'll carry on.
So it's the day after. Good God, look at this thing. Bit of a dog's breakfast. Clearly got my positioning wrong here. completely missed this edge. Fortunately that's not salvageable, so I need a little bit of a lip here, but we are learning. Got it at the ends, a little bit on the side. Well, let's get it peeled off instead of judging it so harshly, and we'll see what it looks like. Finally out. It looks rough, but then I also knew that it was going to look rough. But I don't know if I might try and save this. I've bought some stuff today to have a go at fiberglass, thinking let's try composites that are a little bit cheaper to use, work in a similar way, get a feel for it, come back to carbon. Clearly the mould needs work, and I think the way I would do that is have the central bowl bit, and then the base plate would be removable. So whether I took that off, I need to speak to Easy Composites and just get some advice from them before I commit to printing like another, that's going to take me 16-17 hours. So let's have a bit of a think about it. I'm in no rush, but fiberglass, yes, fiberglass. So I'm tempted to actually try and bolster some of these sides where it's a bit thin and see what I can do with it, because the bottom surprisingly stiff. It's just when you get to the top where there's only one layer, and might as well have a play with it and learn about how to not only fix the carbon fibre but improve the state of the resin. I'll show you some close-ups now. Right, been a couple of months actually. Truth be told, I shelved this because I wasn't very happy with it. So every now and then I'd pick it up and I'd do a bit of sanding on it and get a bit bummed out that I've kind of made a bit of a mess. And then thought, well, I've got this far. Sanded it as best I could, and then threw some of the resin that comes with it. So there's like this isn't the resin that we used originally, this is a resin to finish the job off. And actually it's made a huge difference. I'm genuinely, I mean, on the inside, it's not the prettiest. I mean, the issues are still there and you can still see them, but at least it looks shiny. And I can cope with that. Pretty cool about it. But there's one last job. And that is to drill these two bits. And fortunately on my jig that I printed up, we've got these two holes. So I'll move the camera in a minute and I will get these drilled for the screws. But before that, let's have a proper look up close. Yeah, got them. Like I said, it's pretty shiny. That bit's going to be hidden anyway, so I'm cool about that. Yeah, the edges where it dropped in a bit seem to be better. I mean, that's going to be covered by trim, and the corners where didn't quite get the lamination right, you know, like that one. Love how snug that feels. Simple as that. Take that out, clean off the dust, and that's it, drilled. So what do I think to the kit? Generally, really happy with it. I think I overcommitted a bit with what I was trying to make with this kit, and I could have really done with a few more bits of carbon. Plenty of resin left over for both for the lamination and for finishing. I've got quite a lot of that left, so that's good. I just think I might have been a bit overzealous with the with what I was trying to do with it, and I need to work a bit more on mould release. I mean, I've got a decent draft angle. It's just clearly what I did didn't separate. So would I do it again? Definitely. And I really want to have another go at this, get engineer some of those issues out, but also I've got a glove box to do, and there's some other like flat pieces that I want to try, so I would love to have a go at doing that too. I hope you found it interesting, and if anybody has a go at it, just please get in touch, because I'd love to know what you've made and what you thought of it. And also don't forget to like, share and subscribe, because otherwise a guy named Algorithm won't know that people have watched it. And I'll see you soon. Bye for now.